as they delve into the latest research on honeybees.
Believe it or not, our bees ship to us through the post office.
Isn't that a hazardous substance or something? What? Check all the boxes.
Unstoppable Minds. Back for Season 2. Available on all podcast streaming services.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 855-872-5588. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 855-872-5588.
The coronavirus crisis. As the number of cases increases, so does the need for information.
Orange County has already declared a state of emergency.
Tune in often for in-depth coverage of the coronavirus crisis to Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station. KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edith Bracho Sanchez with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The stress created by the COVID-19 pandemic can wear anyone down, but teens may have a especially hard time. Feeling depressed or angry may be signs they need more support. Remember, parents set the tone at home, so try to stay positive, keep the lines of communication open, and talk with your pediatrician if you have any concerns. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour live and local news and traffic station. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Depend on us.
414, I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Karen Adams. Coming up.
Why is the U.S. coronavirus death toll so much higher than other nations? We'll get answers to your coronavirus questions in just a couple minutes.
President Biden paid tribute to the 500,000 Americans who have died in the pandemic. We'll have a special report at the bottom of the hour.
Also,
I'm Bloomberg's Mona Rivera. Disney is dazzling investors. That story is coming up in 5 minutes.
4:15 now. Traffic every 10 minutes on the 5s. Here's Brian Douglas.
Well, if you're on that 10 and you're heading eastbound, so right about Peck Road, we're in El Monte. We've got debris in the middle lanes. Looks like CHP's slowing everybody up to get all that stuff out of your way. Appreciate the tip call on that as well. I do see you're slowing. As a matter of fact, I see it all the way back to the 710, so it'll be a little slower than normal here for this eastbound route. Now, once you pass the 605, of course, you're used to slowing through West Covina and Baldwin Park. Of course, through the road work up ahead. Things will stay slow on that 10 out to Citrus. Let's stick with the 10, but we'll go west here. Big problems for the Santa Monica portion overhead. Scott, the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
10 eastbound coming up on the 405. It's the two right lanes that are blocked as well as the end of the Bundy on-ramp. You can still get on the freeway there, but it's going to be a bit of a problem for you, so I would not advise that. This was at one point an overturned vehicle, but they do have it up right now. Pretty big backup out of Santa Monica, starting right around Cloverfield, and it looks like it's going to slow again a little east of National as you work your way out through Mid-City into downtown.
And Scott, not far from where you are on the 405 North, just past Sunset, watch out for, it looks like a stall. This would be right in the second lane from the left, so one of your middle lanes, that 405 now extra tough as you come up or as you pass the 10 freeway. New crash coming in for the 110 South. This will be right about Wilshire, so that's going to be downtown. Looks like they were able to make it to the right shoulder. That 110 is slow already, Stadium way through downtown to Slauson, and then kind of sluggish after that. right. Your northbound side from the 105, basically reduce speeds for most of your drive from that point as you make your way up into downtown. Next report's on the way at 4:25. I'm Brian Douglas. More reports more often. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Semper Solaris temps 81 in downtown LA, 74 in Santa Monica, 79 for Santa Ana. And the weather looks like this tomorrow. More winds picking up for Wednesday. 417 at KNX. Your coronavirus questions brought to you by covidclinic.org. Solemn moment at the White House about an hour ago as President Biden paid tribute to the more than 500,000 Americans who've died in the pandemic.
That's more Americans who've died in 1 year in this pandemic than in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined.
With us now, Dr. William Schaffner, infectious disease expert at Vanderbilt University.
Dr. Schaffner, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. The U.S. death toll is among the highest in the world, not just in total numbers, but in percentage of the population. Why is that?
Well, Karen, I think the major reason it is at that very solemn, very high number is that we have not had a national response that was science and public health based from the beginning. I think we've turned that corner. We're on that track. I think we're at the point where this epidemic is now receding and we can see some light at the end of the tunnel if we all keep wearing our masks, doing the social distancing, and when it's our turn, to get vaccinated.
So when we break that into pieces, the patchwork approach, all the different states, different counties doing their own things, that didn't help us out. And then we also, and we just know this, we mix our science with our politics.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Mike. This whole response to COVID, going back months and months and months, has had a political veneer. And we're trying to scrape that off and let everybody know the virus doesn't care whether you voted right, left, or in the middle. Who knows? It only wants to infect you. So let's put politics aside and go with public health because that's the route to the end of this outbreak.
Okay, so what can we expect, for the next year in this? I mean, it took only about a year to get to 500,000 deaths. What now?
So, Karen, I think what we can expect is if everything goes well, if people do continue to accept the vaccine and keep up their social distancing, by November, I think we can have a near normal Thanksgiving. And if that works, then normal holiday season. With some luck, we might even get there a tad earlier, but let's not overpromise. If we can get there by this fall, that will be a terrific triumph.
We have wild cards. We have these variants. It's a race with the vaccines. How cautious are you when you think about those?
Well, of course, I'm worried about them. They're under surveillance. The most common variant is this British variant. The vaccine works against it, as does the masking and the social distancing. So I don't expect a big spike from that, but there are other variants out there. We have to keep our eyes on them. And if they start to cause trouble, we'll deal with them down the road. But at the moment, stick with the program. Get yourself vaccinated. Keep that mask on.
Do you anticipate like a false sense of, we're, like you mentioned, we're at the end of the tunnel, and people are going to start to relax even more because we have the vaccines out there and the numbers are coming down significantly. But are we getting into a false sense of security now, or can we trust that the numbers are really coming down? It's just not us all staying home. There's a majority of us that are staying home. But when we start dipping our feet into the water, what happens? I mean,
I hear you, Karen, and you and I are both concerned that Americans like quick solutions. And we've done this before. We've opened up too early, too carelessly, and cases have gone up again. And so I think we have to stick with the program a bit longer while we keep vaccinating. And then when we get the all-clear whistle from the CDC or our state health departments, then we can begin to relax a little bit. But let's not try it too soon.
What's your thought on the just give them the one shot approach that, one of the Pfizer or Moderna can give you immunity at a pretty high level? And the argument is instead of getting everybody the second one and waiting, you get the one shot out to more people, gives the virus fewer places to go. I guess questions we have about that are we don't know how long that immunity is going to last.
Well, Mike, I was on a 2-hour call today that debated that issue, and half the folks were on one side, and these are really sophisticated, good, honest people, and half were on the other side. I think we need to stick with the program. We've been telling everybody this vaccine is 95% effective. It only is if you get 2 doses.
Dr. William Schaffner, infectious disease expert, Vanderbilt University. Doctor, as always, thank you. 422 at KNX. We check your money. Here's Mona Rivera.
Mike and Karen, investors cannot seem to get enough of Disney. Shares hit a new high today as the company prepares to launch its new international streaming service called Star. It will feature more adult-oriented content, including R-rated movies. The number one seller of tires in the U.S. is buying the 5th largest tire maker, Goodyear's acquiring Cooper Tires. The Dow finished higher for the day with a gain of 27 points. The S&P and the Nasdaq fell. We check your money at 20 and 50 after each hour. I'm Bloomberg's Mona Rivera from the HMS Capital Money Desk, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Our eye in the sky will be updating that crash of an overturned car on the 10 Santa Monica Freeway when we check the roads again in 2 minutes. It's 4:23.
24/7, 365. To some people, they're just numbers.
At KNX, they're a commitment.
Now on the scene of that developing story in San Pedro.
We'll be sticking around to see how this plays out.
Anytime, day or night. Count on KNX for local breaking news.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us.
You've heard the saying, people make all the difference. It's true. Everywhere, we got good people here. It's a great station. They've got great people at Advanced Hair Restoration, so that makes a difference for you when you're trying to tackle your hair loss. Dr. Gaffney, George, Tracy, Carl, the whole team, kind, compassionate, and they want what's best for you. And they can help. They can get you the best treatment that's out there. Works for receding hairlines, bald spots, thinning hair. Men and women, all age groups, they can help you out. You see, Advanced Hair has successfully improved the lives of over 30,000 people already by putting the most experienced professionals in hair restoration behind their groundbreaking tech. What they do, you can't get it just anywhere, so that's why you go to Advanced Hair. And that's why they are able to guarantee that your new hair is going to grow. I've seen what they can do for people. I've seen their exceptional standard of care, well above the CDC guidelines. And there's nobody I trust more to do this for you than these guys. Free consultation, 844-333-HAIR, 250 free hair grafts, $250 off. People really do make the difference at Advanced Hair. 844-333-HAIR, the before and after pictures, advancedhair.com.
In the Mediterranean, it's all about being active and eating healthy, delicious food. That's why Luna Grill is introducing the new modern Greek chicken wrap with 30 grams of protein. Crafted with grilled chicken, feta cheese, chopped kale, and pickled onions wrapped in multi-grain lavash. So run, jump, bike, climb, swim, or just walk in and taste the Mediterranean diet all wrapped up. The new modern Greek chicken wrap at Luna Grill, your Mediterranean kitchen.
It's 4:24. Dodgers will have fans in the stands this spring.
A report says the Dodgers sold out of their allotment of seats at spring training in a mere 2 hours, with some fans in the stands for their exhibition season starting Sunday against Oakland. Manager Dave Roberts was asked if he expects that to help them get energized to start the season.
A little bit. I think that once we get everyone here, which will be tomorrow, and then we start playing games, which will be next Sunday, I believe, and we get fans around, I think that energy will amplify, and then I think it'll be considerably normal than spring training 2.0 last year.
Most of last season, fans were not allowed in the ballpark at all. Randy Cardoon, KNX 1070 News Radio.
A national tribute to the 500,000 Americans lost to COVID-19 at the White House. More in another special report coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's 4:25.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Brought to you by Land Rover, Brian Douglas.
Well, we had an earlier problem. 605 North transition to the 91 West. Apparently, a large truck had some issues taking that cloverleaf turn there, and it looks like they were able to finally do it. That's what those delays are for that North 605 starting at South Street. So you're not usually prepared for slowing unless there's something ahead. There was, but it's not there anymore. So that's good. But the slowing's still there. You'll get through this probably in a couple minutes, and all will be good. Listen, if you're heading north past the 91, things get heavy at the 105 up to the 5. Your southbound side still slow, Peck Road all the way down to the 5 freeway. Let's get an update on that problem that's really slowing you drive out of Santa Monica. Scott's overhead the Santa Monica freeway, the Southern California Toyota dealer Sky 3.
Yeah, 10 eastbound coming up on the 405. We have the 2 right lanes blocked on a bad injury crash. There was an overturned vehicle here. That thing's back on its wheels now, but the 2 right lanes at the end of the Bundy on-ramp are blocked. You can still get on the freeway there, but you're going to have to kind of drive around some of the cone pattern. Looks like the backup now almost a Lincoln on the 10 eastbound. Pick your favorite surface street, Pico, Olympic, Santa Monica Boulevard. East of here, there is going to be slowing, looks like a little east of National as you work your way out through Mid-City into downtown.
405 northbound past Sunset, still working stall sitting in the middle lane here. That's why you're slow just off that 10. So once you're past that stall, just past Sunset, you're actually looking good up and over the hill, slowing downhill, making your way into the valley. That 405 stays slow up to Nordhoff Street. Take the road less traveled to the Own the Adventures sales event going on now. Explore exceptional offers on a wide range of Land Rover vehicles. Visit your SoCal Land Rover retailer or call 1-800-FIND-4WD for details. Land Rover above and beyond. Next report, 435. I'm Brian Douglas with more reports more often. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Warm and dry, 70s, 80s out there. This is sticking around for tomorrow, so it's going to be like this again. We'll start a cool down after that, bringing in some winds too. Santa Ana winds Wednesday into Thursday, and then a lot cooler by the time we get into the next weekend.
The COVID numbers looking good in LA County, but health officials warn that could change. And a new coronavirus strain from Denmark is taking over in California. More in 3 minutes. It's 4:27.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-730-2885. 800-730-2885. 800-730-2885.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Small business owners don't have the patience for nonsense, especially when it comes to their internet provider. They want the best services for the best price. Simply put, that's Spectrum Business. They give you great value, zero nonsense. Just call 855-872-5588. You'll get fast, reliable internet and phone with no contracts and no hidden fees, all for a price that could cut your bill in half. Spectrum Business. Call today, 855-872-5588.
At Eide Bailly, we're in business because you are in business. Our trusted team of CPAs and business advisors starts each day focused on one thing: you. Eide Bailly. What inspires you inspires us.
Looking for fresh, affordable groceries? Stop by your local Stater Brothers Market. We've got great deals in store for you.
We sure do. Fresh asparagus is 99 cents a pound. Fresh Foster Farms chicken thighs and drumsticks are also 99 cents a pound. And bone-in New York steaks are just $4.99 a pound. Haven't had ribs in a while? It's the perfect time. Pork spare ribs are only $1.99 a pound.
Visit our website for more great deals now through Tuesday at Stater Brothers Markets.
In the time it takes to say, Ecolab products and protocols are helping to keep this restaurant cleaner. A baby in this restaurant has touched a spoon, a cup, the tabletop, his chair, his mouth, and now my mouth. look for the Ecolab Science Certified seal and see a commitment to advancing cleaner, safer practices.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Karen Adams. Our top story at 4:30. 500,000 people have now died of COVID-19 in the U.S. It's been just over a year of this pandemic, and President Biden honored those who've died at the White House.
Moment of silence, candle lighting ceremony. South Portico stairs lit up with 500 candles, bells at the cathedral. They rang 500 times today. We have in-depth team coverage.
CBS News special report. The U.S. Marine Corps band playing Amazing Grace at the White House before a moment of silence marking America's 500,000 coronavirus deaths.
We ask you to join us, to remember so we can heal, to find purpose in the work ahead, to show that there is light in the darkness.
President Joe Biden with this message.
For those who have lost loved ones, this is what I know. They're never truly gone. They'll always be part of your heart.
Dr. Anthony Fauci said it's possible Americans will still need to wear masks into 2022. Vanderbilt Medicine's Dr. William Schaffner.
I'm perhaps a little bit more optimistic than Dr. Fauci. I hope that we can have a near normal Thanksgiving and the subsequent holidays.
CBS News special report, I'm Matt Piper.
And as the nation tops the 500,000 coronavirus death milestone, COVID infections, hospitalizations, and deaths in L.A. County continue to drop. But Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer warns that could be about to change.
This week is when we could see increases in cases resulting from gatherings over the Super Bowl weekend. Increases in cases are always followed by increases in hospitalizations and deaths in just a matter of weeks. We hope that persons chose to celebrate the Super Bowl and the President's Day weekend safely.
Dr. Ferrer says the county has received more than 1,800,000 doses of coronavirus vaccine, and more than 90% of that has gone into people's arms. But she says the ongoing short supply of vaccine means more than half of the county's vaccination capacity is going unutilized.
Concerning new strain of COVID from Denmark may be responsible for most of the new cases in California.
Researchers at UC San Francisco found it in about 16% of the cases they sampled from the Bay Area in November. In January, it accounted for more than half of the cases. Researchers say it's more contagious and more deadly than the wild-type COVID, but not as much as the UK or South African strains.
There's going to be a lot more research needed to determine if the variant is resistant to vaccines, exactly how contagious it is, and how virulent it is.
UCLA epidemiologist Dr. Anne Ramoy tells KNX so much is still unknown about the virus and various strains, so that thing about getting back to normal.
Our definition of normal is going to evolve, just like it did after 9/11, where now we're used to security checks, to added layers of security. I think we're constantly going to be thinking about health.
Ramoy says masks are probably here to stay for some time, and we will likely need booster vaccines for the emerging COVID strains. Emily Valdez, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The LAUSD and the union that represents its non-teaching workers have reached an agreement that paves the way for the reopening of campuses for in-class instruction. The Service Employees International Union, Local 99, represents custodians, food service workers, truck drivers, and other essential workers. Those workers will be given priority to be vaccinated, and no one will be asked to report to work without also being given a shot. They'll be paid an extra $5 an hour until in-class learning begins, and anyone required to quarantine will be given emergency paid sick leave.
So even with the vaccines, the experts say now is not the time to let your guard down, especially with the variants that are out there.
The problem is still a very simple but dangerous one.
Some of people could still get the virus and could be transmitting it even if they got the vaccine. So that's why we need to be extra careful until all of us have been vaccinated and we have this kind of herd immunity.
Dr. Ali Makdad, professor of health metric sciences at the University of Washington, he says for those who think the vaccines have us very close to herd immunity, well, think again.
No, that's very dangerous to say that. We are not at herd immunity by far in the United States. We know how many people have been infected in this country. We are about 20%. So 80% of us are still susceptible. We haven't reached herd immunity. And now, as we vaccinate more people, we are going to reach that herd immunity, but not in the near future.
So if you're wondering, will we still be needing to wear a mask for the rest of the year? It's looking more and more like the answer is yes. Chris Seaton's KNX 1070 News Radio.
A new report says L.A. sheriff's deputies are targeting the homeless at levels that are discriminatory and abusive. More after traffic. It's 4:35.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the 5s. Here's Brian Douglas.
Still working a stall in your middle lane, 405 northbound past Sunset, a little bit closer to Moraga here. And it looks like we're waiting for the flatbed, and the flatbed's there waiting to get that car on. Now, that North 405 is going to be extra heavy as you pass the 10 freeway, so expect some delays on your way up to the San Fernando Valley. Now, let's stick with that 10, get an update on the big problem here on the Santa Monica portion with Scott, the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
10 eastbound coming up on the 405. Things have gotten a little better, but this is an injury crash that had several lanes blocked. It's the right lane and the end of the Bundy on-ramp that's currently blocked here. You have a backup, looks like almost down to the McClure Tunnel at this point, definitely through Lincoln on that 10 eastbound. Bottom line, you want to get on the freeway anywhere east of the 405 if you can, but you're going to be slow on the 10 eastbound through Mid-City into downtown.
I want to go back up to the 118. Now, this is our eastbound drive right at the 5. This originally came in as a crash, reported as a crash. Now, CHP is saying that it's a stall. It's definitely affecting your drive. That 118's pretty much stop and go from the 405 over to the 5. So watch out for some delays on that section of the 118. Now, the 10, we're in El Monte, still have debris, Peck Road, middle lanes. Apparently, it's shoes and lots of them. And thank you for all the tip calls. That's why you're extra slow now. 10 East off that 710. CHP is there picking them up. You don't need to do that. The 5 North out of Buena Park, something is definitely blocking the roadway here just past Artesia Boulevard. Again, nothing reported yet from CHP, but I see your drive now jammed now from that 91 freeway. Next report is on the way at 4:45. I'm Brian Douglas. So more reports more often. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Warm and dry today, 70s, 80s. More of this tomorrow. And then we're looking at Santa Ana winds. 5-day forecast, 4:45. Right now, 81 downtown, 83 Fullerton in Ontario, 81 degrees.
It's 4:37. A new report by the ACLU indicates the chronically homeless living in and around the city of Lancaster are being targeted for violations of the city's municipal code by the Sheriff's Department at levels that are discriminatory and abusive.
The 2-year study was based on multiple accounts from people who claim they are literally being banished from the city limits. Eve Garrow is a homeless policy analyst with the ACLU. She says the LA Sheriff's Department and the city appear to be deliberately targeting those people.
Although they make up only about 1% of the city's population, people who are unhoused account for almost half of stops to enforce the city's municipal code. And mostly they're being targeted simply for being unhoused.
The report recommends Lancaster officials remove laws and make criminals of unhoused people simply for sleeping outside or engaging in survival strategies to stay alive and work on developing more supportive housing. The LA Sheriff's Department responded by saying they have no intent to criminalize, dehumanize, or otherwise make life harder for homeless individuals. They only act in accordance with what local lawmakers pass and impose as law. Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Lancaster Mayor R. Rex Paris takes issue with the accusation the homeless are being unfairly targeted in his city. We talked to him.
People are working very hard on trying to alleviate the problem. But just because you're homeless doesn't mean you get to break the law. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you get to be a criminal. And when you are, we will arrest you.
Paris tells KNX Lancaster has one of the most innovative homeless shelters in the world. Kensington Project currently houses 150 people. When it's complete, it'll be 750 with services like job training.
2 Southern California DAs do not agree on how serious crime should be charged. One is in Orange County, the other the L.A. County DA.
OC's DA Todd Spitzer was in court ready for a legal fight with L.A.'s DA. Spitzer wanted to prosecute a 1981 Anaheim Hills kidnapping and murder case of a 6-year-old boy. It was a 2015 DNA hit that allegedly linked Kenneth Rasmussen to the crime.
Dismiss the death penalty and the special circumstances which would get us to life without the possibility of parole. Mr. Gascon wanted to take those 2 options off the table, period.
As it turned out, the defendant pleaded no contest to this murder, also the murder of another boy in L.A. in 1986.
He will never, ever see the light of day outside a prison wall.
Had the defendant not entered that plea, there would have been a battle between the two DAs. However, Gascon himself was a no-show.
It was insulting that he sent an interim chief assistant.
LA DA Gascon says he doesn't pursue the death penalty, that is largely why he was elected. Craig Figner, KNX 1070 News Radio.
He may have appointed some of its members, but the Supreme Court's allowing former President Trump's tax returns to be turned over to prosecutors in New York.
In doing so, the court dealt a stinging blow to Mr. Trump's years of efforts to shield his returns from the eyes of investigators, not to mention the public.
The IRS had a saying, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
Gene Rossi is a former federal prosecutor who served in the tax division of the Department of Justice.
We will soon find out whether Donald Trump was a very honest citizen, filed accurate returns, or whether he will get slaughtered.
The former president's returns are complex and voluminous, and it could take a very long time for investigators in New York to piece the story they may tell together. Charles Feldman, KNX 1070 News Radio.
It's a tough drive out of the 10 Santa Monica freeway because of a crash there. Our eye in the sky will be over it when we check the roads again at 4:45. It's 4:41.
Let's talk about IQ Air, because it's a good thing we have them at a time like this. We learn every day, and the health officials keep saying, keep doing what you're doing to stay safe. So you think, okay, I got to mask up, I got to distance, and I got to worry about the air. Make sure it's clean at my home and my business, wherever I am. And that is where we have IQ Air. They have a few things that can help you out. They have the Autumn Series. This is an award winner. Their personal air purifier. You've heard me talk about it. You just put it nearby, and it sends clean air in your direction like your own safe breathing bubble. Then they have something larger, the Health Pro Plus. This is a room purifier, so this is the one for your house. Patented industry-leading filtration either way with these. And these purifiers from IQ Air, they eliminate up to 99% of airborne particulates, down to the smallest that exist. So this is what you want. Swiss designed, German made, top ranks all around the world for viruses, bacteria, mold, pollen, smoke, dust, traffic pollution. It is a very long list, but whatever's on the list are things you do not want to be breathing in. So protect yourself and your family with IQ Air. The website, iqair.com/US. The phone number, 800-500-4AIR. iqair.com/US, 800-500-4AIR.
Every journey can use an experienced guide. Vocational Journey is no different. At Arizona State University, we're with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Our 200-plus programs are designed specifically for online learning, with state-of-the-art technology and personalized support services to empower your success. Find your next journey at ASU, a top 10 university for online bachelor's programs. Tap to learn more or visit us at asuonline.asu.edu.
Looking for fresh, affordable groceries? Stop by your local Stater Brothers Market. We've got great deals in store for you.
We sure do. Fresh asparagus is 99 cents a pound. Fresh Foster Farms chicken thighs and drumsticks are also 99 cents a pound. And bone-in New York steaks are just $4.99 a pound. Haven't had ribs in a while? It's the perfect time. Pork spare ribs are only $1.99 a pound.
Visit our website for more great deals now through Tuesday at Stater Brothers Markets.
My dog's health is too important to feed him some highly processed burnt brown kibble. That's why I've switched to the Farmer's Dog. It's real food cooked fresh and delivered right to my door. The Farmer's Dog meals are made from fresh meat and veggies, plus they worked with top vets to create a complete and balanced meal for your dog. It's also pre-portioned so you don't have to worry about under or overfeeding, and it's just a simple way to give your dog a better diet. Start your trial today by going to thefarmersdog.com and you'll save 50% off plus free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Breaking news when it happens.
Southern California's only 24-hour live and...
Is eating fish healthy? Certainly not for the fish, and most definitely not for the oceans. That's the reason the Sarno brothers, founding chefs at Good Catch Foods, began perfecting 100% plant-based seafood. They wanted sustainable options that are respectful of all creatures and don't harm our oceans. Ask your grocer for Good Catch foods like tuna and crab cakes, or shop online at goodcatchfoods.com. Then, host your own Fishless Friday and feel good about every bite.
By this, the person they're looking for is still not in custody. So this is going to be Franklin Avenue and Highland. And that's, you know what, this is always just a tough spot, whether there's nothing going on. I mean, Franklin's always heavy from La Brea, and it is now. Of course, Highland is tough as you come away from the Hollywood Bowl. Hollywood and Highland, that's always a difficult intersection. So again, you might want to avoid that area. As of now, it looks like the roads are open, but we do have police activity. I'd use Cahuenga. If you're doing that north-south drive, of course, Cahuenga has an on-ramp to that northbound side of the 101 if that's what you're looking for. Southbound side, of course, you can exit at Gower, Cahuenga, any of those, and make your way through Hollywood that way. Avoid Hollywood Boulevard as well. Hop down and use Sunset. All right, let's go back to the west side of town, get an update on a big problem there on the 10 Santa Monica Freeway. Overhead Scott, the Southern California Toyota dealers, Sky 3.
Well, it's kind of starting to get into clearing stages on this wreck, but still here, 10 eastbound coming up on the 405. Had a real bad injury crash. At one point, one of these vehicles was overturned, but it's still the right lane that's blocking into the Bundy on-ramp. So bit of a trouble for you trying to get on the freeway at Bundy. You can still do it, but you're going to spend a little extra time. Very tough, basically out of the McClure Tunnel. Expect additional slowing through Mid-City into downtown.
Still some slowing on that 5 north out of Buena Park. Expect some delays off the 91. And speaking of the 91, here at Euclid, we're dealing with an injury crash. Just getting some details about this. We do have some lanes blocked, and that 91, that's going to be tough off the 5. iAccidentLawyer.com cautions there's a lot of false information out there. Not all lawyers have their amazing results, so be smart and hire a multi-million-dollar winning firm. Go to iAccidentLawyer.com. Next report, 4:55. I'm Brian Douglas. More reports more often. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Our dry weather pattern continues for the next few days here in the Southland with gusty Santa Ana winds this afternoon. And then we're looking at the return of the sea breeze as we head into the second half of the week. Temperatures today will be in the mid-70s. Low 80s for LA and Orange County Metro. Low 80s for the valleys. Mid-70s for the Inland Empire. Low 70s for the high deserts. And low 50s for the mountains. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast, I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Amber Lee for KNX 1070 News Radio.
December Solaris temps 79 in Burbank, 71 in Hawthorne, 82 degrees in Anaheim.
We have breaking news from Sacramento, where state lawmakers have approved a $7.5 billion coronavirus economic relief package. Californians who early $30,000 a year or less could see a $600 stimulus payment arrive as soon as a month after filing their tax returns. And the package also includes more than $2 billion in grants and free waivers for small businesses.
448 looks like this season will be the last for 3-time MVP Albert Pujols, wife of the Angels slugger. Just